Guys, it's Monday, which means it's time for our weekend box office report brought to you by our friends at AMC Theaters. Coming in at number 1 is the NWA biopic Straight Outta Compton, making an estimated $56.1 million. This marks the 6th largest opening of all time for a film in August. Coming in second place is the Tom Cruise film Mission Impossible Rogue Nation, dropping just 40% in its third week, bringing in another $17 million for a 3-week total of just under $374 million worldwide. In third place is the new Henry Cavill Armie Hammer film, The Man from U.N.C.L.E., making $13.3 million. In fourth spot is the Fantastic Four, making $8 million in its second week, dropping almost 70% from its week 1 opening. And rounding out the top 5 is the thriller The Gift, continuing its surprise run with an additional $6.5 million to bring its 2-week total up to $23 million on just a $5 million budget. John, what stands out to you in this week's box office report?
There are several big things here. Okay, first of all, let's start with Straight Outta Compton. Not only is the 6th biggest opening in August history, it's also the number 1 opening in August history for an R-rated film, just beating out the American Pie 2, I believe. Ooh. So, like, we were expecting in the 40s to 50s, and it delivered. And I don't think it's going to drop a lot. I think you're looking at an under 50% drop going into next week. You also have to talk about Mission Impossible. The legs on this film are fantastic. So, I mean, good for it. I mean, it's, and the word of mouth, once again, we see a 40% drop. That's fantastic. So it's doing really, really well. Fantastic Four, 70% drop from an already abysmal outing. I mean, I think it just crossed 100 million worldwide, which means the studio's poised to lose 60 to 90 million dollars on this film, which is just psychotic to think about. Man from U.N.C.L.E. I remember when I reviewed this film, I said, man, I really like this film and it's going to bomb. And sure enough, they've got to be disappointed with the 13 million, especially since they made, I think, a really quality film. So it's unfortunate. And of course, The Gift. I mean, The Gift, a $5 million film. I think this is the second week in a row in the top 5 of the box office. That great. And finally, Ant-Man bows out of the top 5. It's in 6th position, still doing quite well. So yeah, a lot of activity here on the board this week. Mark, what stands out to you?
Straight Outta Compton proves that internet memes can be a great way to advertise your movie. Even if people weren't aware this movie is coming out, you saw all these things straight out of something. You know, straight out of Collider. I had a straight out of Chili's meme made for me. Everybody had their own internet marketing campaign for Straight Outta Compton and ended up working. There's clearly an audience for this movie. I did my contribution. I took my nonfiction girlfriend to go see it last night, and it's a great movie. People should go watch it. If people wanted to see not only it for the filmmaking standpoint, but also for the history lesson as to what NWA meant to popular culture still today. So I think it's a worthy number 1. Man from U.N.C.L.E. versus Mission Impossible 5. You're not going to win that battle from a film quality standpoint or from a fact that I think Mission Impossible 5 was just a more fun movie. I liked Man from U.N.C.L.E. fine, but it didn't have the star power that Mission Impossible 5 has. And Fantastic Four, now it's out of my life. Now I don't have to worry about it anymore. It's gone. It's never coming back. I'm not concerned about it.
Speaking of those Straight Outta Compton memes, there are way too many of them floating around. But one of my favorites was the Fantastic Four poster and then the meme saying "Straight Outta Theaters," which I thought was a pretty good one. Anyway, Shep, what stands out to you with the box office?
My favorite meme was one by, I think it was Lowell did it, Straight Outta Krypton. That was a meme.
That was a nice one. Yeah.
That was an incredible marketing campaign, and I'm amazed at how much movie this Straight Outta Compton made. I'm really happy though. I'm very happy that so many people flocked out to see this movie made about this amazing group and the careers that it spawned. So I'm gonna probably see it tonight or tomorrow. I'm really looking forward to seeing it. I did see Man from U.N.C.L.E. And I'm pretty
on the plane, right?
No, not on the plane.
Oh, you got back and went to
I got back and saw it last night.
Oh wow, you've been busy.
I just was like, I got to catch up. I was like ready to rock. But I'm seeing Straight Outta Compton with Holly, so I was like, I got to see a movie that's all right, Man from U.N.C.L.E. So I was disappointed to hear how little it made. It made almost like less than Fantastic Four made in its opening weekend. I mean, Fantastic Four made like 26 million. Everyone's like, it's the worst movie ever. And Man from U.N.C.L.E. made 13 million. But it got okay reviews.
Yeah, I like the film.
That is a bomb. That's like a box office turd.
I'm not quite sure what the budget on the film was.
80 million.
But was it? Yeah, they can't be happy with that.
And all the campaigning and ads everywhere. That's like a horrible
But I think
Big
it also means, too, that Henry Cavill and Armie Hammer, God love him, I just don't think that they're quite ready to open a movie yet. I know that one of the guys is playing Superman, but it just doesn't mean that they can open any movie they want to. Guy Ritchie's name, I think it still carries clout in our industry, but I think fans are like, oh, yeah, it's Guy Ritchie. I can catch that sometime later. It's not like a must-see in theaters. And when you're talking about the year of the spy movie, there's been really good spy movies this year, but people saw Mission Impossible 5, and now maybe they're done with that genre for a little bit until Bond comes around in November. So they wanted to see something else, and Straight Outta Compton is unlike anything else that you're going to see in August. So I think that's why people jumped on it.
Well, the other thing that I think a lot of people are ignoring is this. Man from U.N.C.L.E. is before any of our times.
Right.
Like that I mean, I'm too young to have ever watched Man from U.N.C.L.E. when it was on TV. So I don't know who on earth they thought they were going to try targets. Look, this is a difficult movie to market. So I'm not going to give the studio a hard time about the marketing of it because it's a hard one to market. But it seemed like the marketing I did see was relying a lot on the nostalgia factor and brand recognition.
Right.
But there's not brand recognition, and the people who have the nostalgic factor aren't going to a lot of movies.
They're in hospitals.
My parents,
they can't walk.
Those are my parents, so I don't know
The
who
people
they
who
thought.
should have brand recognition can't remember it anymore.
I can't get out of my wheelchair to go to the theater. You know what's weird? I mean, I gotta say, I really enjoy the film. It's my favorite Guy Ritchie film in years. I mean, he really knocked it out of the park. I thought everyone did a fantastic job. Armie Hammer was great. Cavill was great. Everyone in it was great. I think the marketing of it reminded me of like John Carter. Like they are like, well, here's a great movie. We don't know, like whoever the like 25-year-old young marketing team that they have you're right. They never saw Man from U.N.C.L.E. They don't know what they have. It shouldn't even been called Man from U.N.C.L.E. It should have just been called Uncle.
I was thinking, you could have made this movie, taken out the Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Yeah.
Just make it the East-West tag team of action. Just call it that. I don't know. You call it something completely different. Don't pretend it's Man from U.N.C.L.E.
So awkward. That's good.
I mean,
Right.
East-West tag team something.
Of action.
Yeah, of action.
I don't know, but
Incorporated.
It just don't associate with Man from U.N.C.L.E. And I think it might have done a little bit better. At least it would have been easier to market.
Call it Straight Outta U.N.C.L.E.
Yeah.
and release it
Straight
again
Outta
this weekend.
U.N.C.L.E. That's amazing. Remarket it next week as Straight Outta U.N.C.L.E. They just all of a sudden made $20 million.